Hey there, hope you're doing good. Let's continue refactoring Futurecam, this time by removing this function mode.begin background task, which does very little actually. I guess this should be a to do. Yeah, we should figure out this background task business. Oops. So when you start recording in the abstract video mode and the burst mode, the long exposure mode, which is all of them. So basically the background task, if the app goes into the background, ensures that the app continues running so that it can save. But why are we doing it here? Yeah, so when the app goes to the background, we stop recording anyway. But if you don't have the background task, the saving will stop. And you need the background task so that you continue saving. We just have to think about the right time to call this. I guess you need a background task only when you're recording, which makes sense. But the question is, can we do this when camera dot is recording is set to true? Because in all the modes, when you call start recording, what happens? We are setting it to true in the video mode, in the burst mode, and in the long exposure mode. So basically when we set it to true, we are beginning a background task. The thing we should figure out is, why can't we do it just when the app starts? Do we get penalized for it? Why don't we do this? Yeah, so this creates multiple background tasks. So why don't we just do this in here. We want to keep the critical flow simple and easy to understand. All these one-time setup we don't want to do here, because this code is complex enough as it is. Without ensure that photos are saved if the user switches to another app the app can be suspended before saving completes. Resulting in some if the user switches to if the user comes back immediately, saving resumes. If the user doesn't come back in a while, the app Futurecam gets terminated, losing the unsaved photos. We want neither of these behaviors. Okay. Yeah, this is a mistake that was fixed, which has nothing to do with this commit. What? Yes. Okay, that is taken care of. Verify mode is, this can be inlined. So the camera one got removed, and mode is anyway not private, so it can be accessed. And we have inlined it. These functions only increase cognitive load. Let's see if we can take a stab at this. Here, do we need these two observers is the first question. So I think we should make this a helper class. Let's do that. We'll put it in camera wrapper because it's not an extension, it's not a mode. Background helper. What does it say? Okay, never mind. Import foundation class background helper. It has an observer, private, let observer NS object protocol. Oops. Private, let observer. And in deinit, you remove the observer. This hopefully doesn't crash if it is already removed. Okay. We should figure this out. What happens here is, if the multiple modes, each of them has its own observer. And when the observer fires, it checks that the mode object is the correct one. So let's say you have switched from one mode to another and back, and you go back and forth a few times. There are multiple mode objects around. So if you go to long exposure mode thrice, there may be 3 long exposure mode objects allocated, which will eventually be cleaned up. But in the meantime, when the app goes to the background, we should call stop recording on the one that is active. So a cleaner way to model this would be, instead of having 3 observers and each of them checking, am I active? We should just have one in camera. Let's code this up. If it's a bad design, we can fix it. It's not a problem. Yeah, you don't need this guardlet. You don't need this weak self. You don't need any of this stuff. And we don't need to deregister these either, because the camera exists forever. I don't think we even need this background helper class. Anyway, where's in it? Observe. Okay. If you don't use weak self, it will cause a reference cycle, causing camera never to get deallocated, but it never gets deallocated anyway. So it's not a memory leak as such. So what should we do? Yeah, we should call the camera. We should just inform the mode. If self.mode dot entered background. We'll define these functions in a short while. Self.mode.resigned actor. So Apple uses this will and did convention. If something already happened, the function name starts with did, and if something is going to happen, then it starts with will, but it's just too verbose. This is a better name, will resign active. Okay, this is the same thing, but did enter is a little odd. No one speaks like this, right? Imagine saying I did enter the restaurant, right? You would say I entered the restaurant typically. So in a way, you can argue against these forwarding functions as well, because why does the camera have to inform the mode? Why can't the mode track itself? But then you're back to the earlier problem of multiple mode objects and multiple listeners, and each of the listeners checking, am I active? Entered background will resign active. Okay, let's I'm not convinced, but we'll code it up. We'll see if it is better or worse. Func will resign actor. Func entered background. So everything except depending on whether it has video data output or not. I see. Let's do this. I don't think we need this level of indirection unless if it is not a burst mode. Okay, fine. Guard mode is burst, else return. That's the first thing we are checking. The other thing we are checking is this part. Okay, never mind. So this thing is taken care of. Next, the thing we need to check is if it has video data output, then it listens to will resign actor. Right? Will resign active requires video data output. And the other one did enter background. It cannot have a video data output. It's the other case. Should we do it this way or should we add a function has photo output? Like I don't like knots here. Yeah, let's write it. Maybe it's unnecessary. But then what's special about one output over the other? Nothing. So if someone asks why do you have one and not the other, I don't have a good reason. Has photo output. So let's check this again. All of them are checking. Oh, it should check is recording also. Oh, the mode should not be burst mode. Then only you are registering. Oh, okay, fine. But I don't understand. Why not burst mode? So we still don't have a good reason for why we need to handle did enter background notification. in some cases and will design active in some cases. Like this explanation makes sense. So if it has a video data output, when we design active, we need to do this. Okay. Let's see. So first of all, even in the burst mode, you need to yeah, okay, never mind. Let's not introduce this. Let's not introduce a bug. So here in the observers, you are checking a few things. One is of course self is there, and you are checking it's the right mode and that it's recording. So recording is a requirement. So in both cases, you are checking recording. That is taken care of. Next, did enter background should be used if you have a photo output. Did enter requires a photo output. Next, will resign should be used if you have a video data output. Okay. So here you don't need to check the mode because this reference always goes to the current mode. Should stop recording. Take care of that. This comment explains why you want to use did enter background, the phone call case. Basically, if you get a prompt saying that you're getting a call and you decline it, you don't want to stop recording for that reason. But it doesn't explain why we don't always go with that. In some cases, we use will design active. Okay, let's see where we are. In camera init, you are observing only once to each of these. And the session has a new helper function, has photo output. And in mode, video data output is required for will resign. Video data output is required for will resign. This should be stop recording. And video data output is not permitted for did enter background. Yes, video data output is not permitted. Ideally, this is recording should move into stop recording, because if someone calls stop recording when it's already stopped, it should be a no op. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can do something about this. I guess we'll do that in the next video, since we have done enough work for now. So I'll see you guys in the next video.